seat taken?
No.
Student, eh? Student?
No.
You look like a student. Always tell a student, you're young enough to be a student. That's the life, isn't it, being a student? Not a care in the world, sitting at the park on a day like this, in the sunshine. Rare enough to see the sun, eh? Rare, eh?
Yeah.
Mind you, I shouldn't be here by rights, I should be at home. That's where I should be, I've got plenty of things to do at home. There's 3 shelves for a start. Anyway, you sit at home all day on a Sunday, start talking to yourself, nothing to do, on your own. You think, this is no good, must get out. Mind you, I'm never at a loss. I'm a very fulfilled person. Do you know I've got one of the biggest collections of cigarette cards for anyone known, live or dead, as far as I know. And you don't get that from sitting on your backside all day. But do you know the most valuable thing there is, I'll let you see through it, people. I'm a big collector of people. I've met quite a number of my time, some good, some bad, but all different. And the most superior of all people is women. Now that may surprise you, won't it? Women, because they're listeners. Do you know, if I had my choice, I'd be a woman. And that may surprise you. They're kind-hearted. When I choose to have a conversation, it's usually with a woman. The trouble is I don't get to meet many women from my line of work, which is a pity.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Are you going?
Excuse me, is this seat taken?
No.
Oh, thanks. Sorry. Only the man over there, he won't stop talking. Do you know, I wanted to read this in peace, but he just kept going on and on about a collection or something. Do you know, I don't normally bother, but when you've got something as important as this, you need all your concentration. Look at it. He wants me to come back. Some hopes. He says he didn't mean to do what he did. He won't do it again, I promise, etc., etc. Huh, I seem to have heard that before. It's not the first time, you know, I can tell you. And there's no excuse for it, is there? Violence. I mean, you can't keep going back to that, can you? Oh, every time he loses his temper, I mean, oh, there's no excuse. A fracture, you know. Look, you can almost see it to this day. 2 x-rays. Do you know, I said to him when I got home, I said, you bastard, you know what you did to my head? And he just stands there the way he does. I'm sorry. I'm ever so sorry. And I told him, you're a bastard, I said. That's what you are. You're a right uncontrolled, bad-tempered bastard. You know what he said? He said, if you say that to me again, I'll bloody smash your face in. Well, you can't have a rational, civilised conversation with a man like that, can you? Do you know, my friend Jenny, she says, you're a loony. You know, for God's sake, leave him. You're a loony. Only, where'd you go? I mean, there's all my things. He's got my everything. Do you know, he's even got my bloody post office book.
Yes. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to embarrass you.
No.
Only
Quite all right. Nobody here, is there?
What?
Nobody here?
Nobody where?
Sitting here?
No.
Sorry. Do you mind if I do? I won't disturb you. The girl over there's got boyfriend trouble. Comes and pours it all out on me, as if I'm interested. I mean, we've all got our troubles, no doubt. But we don't all sit on a park bench and bore some innocent stranger to death. That, in my book, spells S for selfishness. Have you noticed? It's invariably the young They think we haven't been through it. Can't imagine where they think we all came from. I mean, 5 years ago, I had a house in the country, a charming wife, 2 good children. You couldn't imagine a happier family. And my wife dies suddenly. My children can't stand the place a moment longer and emigrate to Canada. And I sell the house, and there I am in a flat you can't swing a cat in. But I don't go boring other people with it. That's life. And you know an interesting thing about trouble? I always think it's a bit like woodworm. If you get a dose, if you're not careful, it starts to spread. Starts in your family, and before you know it, it's into your business. Which is why I'm sitting here reading this report, which has been put together so badly. I've got to come here on my one day off and read it through before I can even be certain whether I'm bankrupt. I mean, I don't know if you're interested, but look, take a look at this page. This is a typical page. Can you make head or tail of it? Beg your pardon.
Excuse me. Excuse me. May I sit here for a moment? Man over there has been, I didn't want to make a scene, but, I suppose I should call the police, but they'd never catch him. I mean, most of the police are men as well, aren't they? Between you and me, I've heard that most of the police women are men as well. Men dressed up, I'm on a fixed income. I don't want all that. That comes from my husband, my ex-husband. He runs a pub in the country. But I had to leave him. We got to the stage when it was either that or, I love dogs, you see, and he refused point blank. And the day came when I knew I must have a dog. It became, like an obsession. So I left. I usually have my dog here with me, only he's at the vet's. He's only a puppy. They had to keep him in. He's being, poor little thing. He'd have seen that man off. He's a loyal little dog. He understands every word I say to him, every word. I said to him this morning, "Ginger boy," I said, "you're coming down the vet's with me this morning to be, And his little ears pricked up and his tail wagged. He knew, you see. I think dogs are more intelligent than people. They're much better company. And the wonderful thing is that once you've got a little dog, you meet other people with dogs. And what I always say is that people who have dogs, they're the nicest sort of people. They're the ones I know I get on with. Have you got a dog by any chance?
Excuse me, just taking refuge. But nutcase over there. Bloody woman prattling on about her dog. God, ought to be locked up. Thinks every man's after her. Look at her. After her? She'd have to pay him. You know the sort though, don't you? Thinking, if you let her talk to you long enough, she'll talk herself into thinking you've assaulted her. Before you know it, she's screaming blue murder, and you're carried off by the fuzz, and that's your lot. 2 years. That's why I'm in the park. Get away from the noise. Take my tip. Don't get married. Looks all right, but believe me, nothing's your own. You've paid for it all, but nothing's your own. Yap, yap, yap. Want. Oh, never satisfied. I mean, no word of a lie. I look at her some mornings and I think, blimey, I must have drawn the last prize in the raffle. Oh, mind you, no, I dare say she's thinking the same. In fact, I know she is, because it certainly keeps me at a distance. Hello, dear, put your money on the table. And she's off out. Don't see her for dust. Sunday mornings, it's a race to see who get out first. Loser keeps the baby. Well, this morning I made it first. Here I am in the quiet. A little bit of traffic, but apart from that, peace. Like my mother used to say, shut your eyes in the country and you can hear God breathing.
Hey, I've got a right one here. He thinks he can hear God breathing.
Hey, he's talking to me again. I mean, what could he do?
There she goes again. What did I tell you? Chapter 2 of the boyfriend saga.
He's talking to me. If he talks to me again, I'll call the police.
Oh, blimey, why doesn't she go home? Hark at her. Can you hear her? Rabbiting on.
Hey! Oh, suit yourself. Be like that.
Oh,
Say,
be
I
like
say.
that then.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, really?
Oi. All right then, don't. Might as well talk to yourself.
Yeah.